Hello, Grammar 3 people. We're back, and this is our very last video. Can you believe it? It's the last week of classes, and well, we have one more week next week, but we mostly just hand in work and do our games and things. So this is the last video, and we are on week 31. And let's go ahead and get started. And if you'd pull out your minute 51, that is what we'll start with. The minute this time is all about prefixes. You're just supposed to circle words that have prefixes in them. And remember, a prefix is a small word part that is added to the beginning of a word to change its meaning. All right, so we've done that several times, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me look at my clock. All right, on your mark, get set, go. Stop. All right, I'll give you a couple of more seconds than a minute. All right, let's go back through and see which words have prefixes. For numbers 1 through 6, you are to circle the word in each sentence that begins with a prefix. So number 1, it would be tricycle. Number 2, unhappy. Number 3, megaphone. Number 4, autograph. Number 5, return. Number 6 would be impossible. All right. Then for the other ones, 7 through 10, you are just supposed to circle the word that begins with a prefix. So number 7, the word that begins with a prefix is midnight. Number 8 would be disappear. Number 9 is preview, and number 10 is nonfiction. All right. So that's the end of minute 51, your very last minute for this year anyway. Okay? All righty, let's talk about idioms. Have you ever heard of an idiom? Sometimes an idiom is called a part of speech or a figurative part of speech, and it is what it is it's when you have a group of words that say something, but they mean something completely different from what they say. And the idioms in English are hard to understand if you're not an English speaker, because they don't make sense if you're trying to do the sentence or the words literally. And that's the same with any language. Most all languages have idioms that are just in their language, and so even though someone would be trying to learn another language, they could learn all the literal things, all the literal words, but learning the idioms is a little bit harder. And I have an example for you. Suppose I say, she is very, very blue today. Would that mean that she is actually blue? No. If she was actually blue, she would need to be in the emergency room, okay? What it means is she's very sad. It's very, very sad. That is an idiom. The words are, she is very blue, but it doesn't mean what they say, okay? That is an idiom. Or another one would be, 2 heads is better than 1. Okay, have you known anybody with 2 heads? I haven't. That would not be too common. But all that means is, if there's a problem, having more than one person work that problem is better. You're more likely to come up with a good solution. Okay, 2 heads is better than 1. All right, and we are going to come up with a couple of more idioms using your composition book. And so go ahead and get your page all cut down to size for your very, very last composition page. And you have, I have posted in your packet pictures again so that you can tell a little bit more easily what it looks like. I'm also going to show you mine and how to put it together. But the unfinished page in your packet looks like this. And you're just going to be putting stuff on your page, and you're going to be gluing it on the parts that are in between the dotted lines. So this one, and then these are going to be flaps, okay? Right here and here, and so on. All right. So, but before we cut that all out, let's go ahead and fill in these blanks. All right. Blanks that do not share the same blank as the individual blank in the phrase. All right. So, what we're going to put for this first one over here is phrases. Now, a phrase is different from a sentence. A phrase does not necessarily have both the predicate and the subject and all that. It's just a small group of words, okay? So a phrase, phrases, that do not share the same meaning as the individual words in the phrase. So you may have certain words in the phrase put together don't mean anything like the separate words. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Go ahead and glue this after you've written it. Glue this at the top of your page and glue it close to the very top, because otherwise you won't be able to fit all this stuff in there. All right, so do that first. When you are done, you're going to glue this top part. And like I said, you're only gluing it in the middle so that these two open. We're going to write something underneath each of these flaps. All right, so just glue this part and fold it back so that you can write underneath it. Now, on this one, it's talking about literal language. Literal language means it means exactly what it says. The desk is brown. Okay? So we know from what I just said that the desk is brown. It means exactly what it says. All right? So that's basically what you're going to write underneath the flap. The words mean exactly what they say. That's what literal language is. Okay. Then we have non-literal language, sometimes called figurative language. And see this guy, he's all dressed up in his costume. Okay, he's disguised, so you can't see who the real person is. So what all that is the meaning is different than the given words. All right, so here the meaning is exactly what the words say, and here the meaning is different from what the words say. These are idioms over here. And then all we have is a couple of 4 different examples of English idioms, and you have probably heard most of them. This one right here isn't very common. All right, so we have one here called, it says under the weather. If someone is under the weather, what does that mean? All right, it means he's sick. He's not feeling well. He's under the weather. Now, before we do any of the other ones, I'd like you to go ahead and glue these on. And like I said, just glue it on the edge so that you have flaps. All right. Now this one has a picture of it, under the weather. This one right here, when pigs fly. Have you ever heard that expression? I've heard it. I've never used it before. But when pigs fly means in your dreams. Never. It's never going to happen. Actually, in your dreams is also an idiom. Okay? When pigs fly means never. All right. I am going to climb up Mount Everest when pigs fly. Okay, that means nope, not me. I don't like heights. All right. And then we have a picture there. Now these other two are the same, but they don't have a picture on them. Mine does, and I'm no artist, can you tell? So it doesn't really matter if the pictures are gorgeous. Just kind of so gives an idea of what it means. Okay, so now we have a one that says, let the cat out of the bag. What happens when someone lets the cat out of the bag? Do we really mean a cat is in a bag and we let it out? That's not usually what we mean when we say that. What we usually mean is, let me get this. We told the secret. Oops. So if someone's supposed to be keeping a secret and they tell another person that secret, they have let the cat out of the bag. Okay, so we just write that, and then you can draw a picture of a cat coming. This is the literal. All right, the one on the top, the pictures on the top are the literal language. It's what the words are saying, and then you look under the flap to see what the non-literal language is, what it really means. Okay, then we have couch potato. Does that mean there's a potato on the couch? No. The answer is no. It means lazy. If you're a couch potato, that means you're not moving much. All right. So here we go, and there's my sort of-ish picture of a couch potato. All right, and one more time. The pictures are the literal, what the words are actually saying. Underneath the flaps is the non-literal, what the words actually mean. All right, so there you go. There's idioms. I'm sure you can think of a lot more idioms. You know, when you say break a leg, do you really want someone to break a leg? No, you want them to do really well in whatever performance they're in. Okay? All kinds of things like that. We have lots of them. In fact, we use them so much that sometimes we don't realize we're using them until somebody looks at you funny and says, what does that mean? And then you realize, oh, I gotta explain that. It doesn't really make sense, does it? Okay? All right, and that is all you're doing this week. What do you know about that? So you still have your packet to complete. You have no spelling this week. So really, you almost have nothing to do. Yay! But you do have something to do, and I would like you to do it really well. All right? So again, on these two, you're going to be looking at those and figuring out how to make the sentence better, more efficient. All right, then we're going to underline the adverb phrase. We haven't done that in a little while. She can recite the verse without faltering. What is the adverb phrase? Without faltering. It is the thing that describes how she recited it. That's the adverb phrase, whatever the phrase is that describes the verb. Adverb phrase. Remember that? It's been a while since we've really talked about that. And then we have the prefix, contractions, writing, this is the double negative, or this is the negatives, writing the negative words correctly. We haven't talked about that much either. This is more of a review. You're going to write them correctly. They're written incorrectly. They usually have too many negatives or negatives in the wrong places. And then you're going to underline the idiom. Okay, that's the last thing you're going to do on page 3. Okie doke. Easy enough. I hope you have a great week, and I hope you have a great summer. And hopefully I'll see you next year in school. Okay? We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.